Hi there. I want to say hi to you from Darkwood Beach. I'm really hoping that you're going to be able to hear me nicely today. It's a little bit overcast, as you can see behind me, but it's a bloody beautiful day, because how could it not be? Because I'm here in this beautiful space. Anyway, it's been a while. There's been a few technical issues. That's the price of paradise. I'm not going to get caught up in that. I'm going to apologise that I'm probably going to keep my sunglasses on to avoid me squinting like this at you. So they're going back on. So how have things been for you? I don't know how things have been for you, other than messages and emails that are constantly coming in and conversations that I'm having. How have things been for me? Things have been fucking awesome. So let's get straight down to the fucking, shall we? Or maybe not, because it's early in the day. In the terms of what I came here for, it's been absolutely phenomenal. This whole self-testing of who I am, how I show up, and what I share with the world is really, really gifting me so much. I'm going to apologise for the coughs as well. Some kind of pollen thing going on, a bit of an irritant here in my throat. So where will I start? Right here now. And right now, I'm just going to ask you to be with me here. So if you could imagine that you're just in this, what I'm going to refer to for me as almost a sacred space, because I feel so connected. You know, I'm sat here on the beach. I can feel the sands. I can feel the sun on my back. Sorry if you're not in the warmth. I've got the ocean behind me. And I just feel so connected to the source and the energy that creates everything. So I just want you to share with me just a few kind of breaths of just really taking in air and oxygen and really filling yourself up. And as you let those breaths out, just let go of stuff that's really not that important to you anymore that you've been holding on to. And just as I say that, the sun comes out from behind the clouds there. And I'm going to give a little warning here. I might suddenly be dashing for cover because there are some rain clouds up there. And isn't that the thing? The sun is always present. It's just sometimes we can't see it. We get caught up in the nonsense of life. So yeah, that word should be nonsense. But I always split it down into nonsense because, you know, the more that I work with people, the more I communicate with people, the more I hang out with people and get to know them, the more I see the stories that people are living. You know, as an example, I was out last night having some fun, as you do, and I got chatting to a few people, and they start to tell you their story. And there was someone that I was talking to last night who basically was saying that they'd inherited all this stuff. And it was crazy because I was thinking, okay, so you've inherited your ideology and how you're going to show up in life. And you're completely aware of that, yet you've been living with it and not changing it for fucking years. I mean, that just makes no sense to me. So in the terms of how you want to show up and what story it is that you're creating right now, just take a moment to sit with yourself and think about the conversations that you've had today, yesterday, the past week, the past months, and just really consider, is it your story that you're living or is it somebody else's? And people get so caught up in the story that they don't even recognise that it's not their story. And that was the thing with this lovely lady that I was chatting to for a little bit last night. And, you know, I'm the sober one, remember, because I'm the one who's not doing the drinking. So I was having some crazy cool conversations with people who have been drinking and they're in party mode. So I was in party mode, excuse me, without the alcohol. And obviously I'm kind of listening to all sorts of conversations, and my state of awareness is in a different space. And, you know, equally when people are a little bit high on life, aided by alcohol, rum punch, reggae music, and hey, the Caribbean, stuff comes out. And it was just really interesting to pay attention to some of the things that were showing up. And I just put them in the laboratory up here, and I'll leave them kind of there, and things will show up from that. And that, there was a lot of ambiguity going about last night about me being a head mechanic. Guys, I'm sure you get that. Women, you probably get it too. It was quite good fun. But that's how I introduce myself here. I'm a head mechanic. Because if you think about it, that's exactly what I do. All I'm ever doing is kind of dipping in and out of people's minds, seeing how they're running a program, i.e. their life, their feelings, their thoughts, and their behaviour. Not in that order, that's just the way it came out of my mouth there, but those are the three things. And just kind of checking out what they're doing, and just kind of tweaking things a little bit. I mean, there's a great story, and I can't remember which book it's in. It's one of Richard Bandler's, where I'm sure it's Richard Bandler one, where some mechanic goes into some ship's engine room, and there's something crazy going on, and it's not doing what it needs to do. And this guy goes in, and literally all he does is one little tweak with the spanner, and he gives the bill for a crazy amount of money, and the guy whose boat it is sort of says, wow, that's a big thing. And he says, well, yes, but I knew which thing to tweak, so you're paying this tiny amount for one thing and this big amount for the other thing. And if you think about it in those terms, if you could tweak some things in your thinking, if you could tweak some things in your behaviour and how you show up, how might life change? And life is only ever change, because that's the thing. On a cellular, molecular level, all we ever are is change. It's the one constant. And even that in itself is a paradox, isn't it? Please excuse the coughing. So it's been awesome. I've learned some amazing stuff. I had my client Claire with me here for 7 days, and that was incredibly intense, yet equally one of the most beautiful experiences. Because when somebody entrusts their life to you to help them make some profound changes to do with behaviour patterns that they've been running for 30 years, that's a massive, massive thing. And we just had, I'm sorry, I'm groping in my bag for a drink as well, because I can feel my tickle in my throat. So Claire had this whole life-changing thing going on here. And from the moment, literally, she got off the plane on the Thursday evening, we were into change, because everything that I was doing was to encourage her to be thinking, feeling, and behaving in a different way. So wherever we were going, we were just kind of chatting. And obviously, you guys know me, so I don't just chat on the conscious level. It's all about sneaking in through the back door. So all of this stuff was going on, and it was truly, truly an amazing, amazing experience for me and for her. And, I put a post when she left thanking her for her part in my journey. And a couple of people said to me, she should be thanking you. And I was like, well, yeah, she's more than thanked me. She came here, she showed up, and she's kept the changes. But I have to thank her for being strong enough and brave enough and wanting to change enough to share that experience with me. It was just off the hook amazing. And it's actually really, really humbling when somebody does that for you, because I'm just somebody who happens to have been lucky enough to learn a bunch of stuff that I know can help people change for the better, that can help them let go of stuff that's not working for them and make fundamental changes in their lives. And it might be as simple as stop being scared of spiders. Or it might be as extreme as Claire, who's been living a life actually pretty much killing herself for 30 odd years. And it was really funny because last Friday, I can't believe it's been a week since she left actually. I picked her up in the morning, and it was like picking up this new woman. She was just off the fucking hook. And she's like, oh my God, have I peaked too early? Have I peaked too early? And I'm like, hell no, you're 46. You've been waiting all of this time to peak. So if you're listening to this and you're wondering, like, when is your time to peak? As I try to open this drink and I can't get in. Oh, island living, sweaty hands. If you're wondering, when is the time to peak? Stop wondering and start peaking. That's all I'm going to say as I have a quick drink of this. So, you know, she's gone back to the UK and we were checked in several times. And I know she won't mind sharing this with you. Everything was cool in the gang and she was awesome. She was feeling inspired and great. And then on Monday, this Monday, I got a couple of messages that kind of made me think, oh my God, what's going on? What's going on? Because it was like, I need to speak to you. I need to speak to you. And so I Skyped her. And she'd gone home and she'd found out that her ex-husband, who she's incredibly close with, had been married for 20 years and they still share a lot of stuff together. And they're really good friends, which is awesome. Anyway, he's been diagnosed with throat cancer. And she said, I just need to hear you tell me that you've got this, Claire. And so I said, Claire, you've got this. Because if there was ever a time to step into that fucking peaking for yourself, for those that you care about, for those that love you, it's when there's a threat, a risk to somebody who you care about. And the irony of this conversation that I was having with her on Skype is she's telling me this stuff and she said, you know, actually, I know I've got it because I feel completely different. You know, it was just like she'd had that moment, that thought of, oh shit, what next? Because just in her mind, as she thought, I'm over all of this, I've sorted all of this, something showed up. Hey, that's called fucking life, isn't it? Shit will always happen. The ability that she had straight away to shift from that thought was, do you know what? I've got this covered. And yeah, there was a bit of her that wanted to speak to me. And I kind of get that because we've had this massive journey for 7 days and we've really connected and we're really close. And the irony on the Skype, which is what I wanted to share with you, is that she's sharing that her ex has just been diagnosed with throat cancer and she's smoking on a cigarette. And I just kind of looked at her and said, well, you know, here's the thing. Now might be the right time for this to be the last time that you inhale that poison into your body. And I said it just like that. And then I kind of moved on and I talked about something else. And it was so funny because this hand was just stuck like this and it was like a cataleptic arm. I was kind of pissing myself laughing because this hand is just stuck and she's talking away. And I kind of said, and you know, right now might be a good time to just put it down. And the hand went down. And by now I'm kind of having a little giggle to myself because I'm like, this is really off the fucking hook. Because basically, you know, I'm doing a little bit of work or a big bit of work there. So the cigarette goes down and she took her last drag. And here we are on Friday. No more cigarettes. Because she's got this. She's strong enough mentally, physically, emotionally. You're going to have to excuse the noises in the background. There's a bunch of little boaty kind of speedboat things, and there's some people heading towards me now on the beach, so we might have to say hello to them. So anyway, so she had this covered. She's made these massive changes, and there was I being sneaky at my work. And that's the thing. I'm really, really sneaky sometimes, and sometimes I'm really, really overt. And the best thing that I can suggest to you now is that you take a good look at yourself in the mirror and check yourself out mentally, physically, emotionally. And what is there that you could decide to let go of and to put down for the last time that will enhance your life, your living, your showing up, your health, your everything? Because you are everything to you. There is no better version of you. You're perfectly, perfectly imperfect right now. So remember that when you're equally letting go of something, you're perfect in any given moment. But the quality of this now is affecting tomorrow's now and the next now and the next now. I just want all of my nows to be fucking amazing experiences. And whether there might be some stuff in there that I would rather not happen, well, hell yes, because that's called living, that's called life. I've had some interesting personal kind of stuff going on, I suppose, where I've been sort of checking something out, a situation, maybe a person is the truth. And I've been learning, and I've learned a lot about myself, and I've learned a lot about that person. And the one thing that I've learned that's always consistent with me is my instincts will always tell me. My truth will come through my kinesthetic feelings. If I get too much of this involved, I can overthink, I can change the whole fucking thing into complete bullshit by thinking the wrong things. So it is the human condition to think. And one of the massive things that I kept, sharing with Claire was to stop thinking so much and to start feeling more. Because the more you feel, the more you notice where everything is coming from. Helicopters and all sorts going on here, so I'm going to apologise if you get that in the background, but hey, isn't that pretty cool actually? So yeah, when you're overthinking and you're getting yourself in that loop where you just feel rubbish, I mean, what's in that for you? Start to really pay attention to where those feelings are showing up, and people will say it's in their head, and I'll ask them again, and we'll do a little bit of calibration and awareness, and actually we'll realise that, you know, they've got a really heavy feeling in their chest or in their tummy, and there's kind of butterfly feelings, and there's all of this stuff going on. And if it isn't a good feeling, well, what do you need to do? You kind of need to change the feeling. So you need to change the thought, to change the feeling, to change the behaviour. So up at Guard last week, Claire came with me, and it was a massive, massive rock for her, because she just went into this space where she could see that they were just so natural in their responses. They weren't overthinking, they weren't getting caught up in bullshit. They were just being. It wasn't filtered through here. It was sort of almost not filtered here either. It was just their kinesthetic responses. What came up first was their truth. So I want you to really start to pay attention today and tomorrow and in the coming days to what you're feeling. And if you can recognize what you're feeling, and it's a great feeling, and we'll keep fucking doing that thing. Yeah, maybe there should be some disclaimers on that, depending how much you're drinking, smoking, fucking. Did I really say that? Yeah, it's too early in the morning for that kind of business. Or not, maybe it's the perfect time, because if it makes you feel good and you're with somebody you love and you're having a great time, yeah, bloody go for it. So as I digress there into a little movie in my mind, I should shut that one right down now, because I need to talk to you guys. So basically, I just want you to really start to really pay attention to how you're feeling. And especially now we're going into this crazy Christmas time. I have to say, I'm not feeling particularly Christmassy. Maybe it's something to do with location, but I have just had an invite to decorate a Christmas tree on Sunday, which is going to be kind of cool. It will remind me of when I lived in Cyprus with my ex-husband, and we went up Mount Troodos and we borrowed a real Christmas tree, because I had to have a real Christmas tree. Yeah, but there's a thought to go back to that just makes me smile. It was a great experience. But getting back to what I was saying, it's this time of year where there's overindulgence in food, drink, sex. How many people getting on with somebody over Christmas that's like, oh my Lord, office parties in general, and it's like, oh my God, did I really do that? Well, yeah, stuff's going to happen. So just kind of get yourself mentally prepared for the crazy Xmas and what's coming on to the new year, and start thinking about how you want to be, and just kind of get into that space. Just get yourself into a different space. I've had some experiences this week that have just literally blown my mind, where I've been invited into people's, what I believe is a sacred space, where I felt completely connected, I felt completely safe, and it's just been an amazing experience. And it is bizarre, because in the UK and wherever I've been in my life, I've sometimes had, I've had those experiences, absolutely. Yet they normally take more time, and that's something about certainly being here in Antigua, an island girl, and showing up the way that I am, because I'm being my truth. I'm being invited into some people's lives really quite quickly, I believe, to share what I believe is their sacred space, and a space that I can just be held in, that makes me feel so comforted and so good. And there's stuff that's gone on that it's just blown my mind that I can feel like that, and some of the things that have happened, I'm just like, wow, I don't really know these people, but look at this, isn't this amazing? So I suppose it's the way that we're all filtering, isn't it, really? And you can filter what you want and how you want. You can get what you want from this life if you choose to show up as your truth. And lots of people, when I've said, wow, I'm being really blessed, have just said it's because I am my truth. I show up the way that I show up. And that's the thing that I always share with you. And that's what I really want you to do now. I just want you to really embrace being your truth and forget about people's judgments. What I think, what anyone thinks is actually irrelevant. Do what you want to do. I'm just going to pick you up here because I really want you to have a little look behind you. Sorry. Monster Rat is over there in the background. I don't know if you can see it. No, we need to go that way. It's just a beautiful day here. My mat's getting really hot though because the sun's come out. So I'm kind of going to call it a day. I want to thank you for listening to this and sharing time and space with me. I'm going to be doing a bunch more of recording because I'm just going to be taking small snippets wherever I can. And they might be 10 minutes, they might be 15 minutes. They're just going to go on. I might do a 5-minute thing every single day. I just want to be sharing with you every single day all these awesome experiences that I'm having. So on that note, with the last cough, I wish you an amazing weekend, and go out, less thinking, more feeling, show up as yourself, be awesome, be amazing, and be the best version of you that's possible, which is perfectly imperfect in any given time. So I send you love. I send you blessings. I send you some warmth and some sea air and some sand. And I just wish you an amazing day. And if you want to share this with anyone else, that would be absolutely awesome. And I really look forward to connecting with you. And that was just a wave to somebody walking past on my quiet patch of beach. So anyway, Janis, checking out from Dartwood, off to go and meet somebody now and have an amazing day of new adventures and living life fully. Whatever it is that you do today, absolutely fucking love it. If you're not fucking loving it, then you're not doing the thing that you're supposed to be doing. Much love. Take care. Bye. Can't find the stop. Can't see it for the sun. Bye.